Let's talk. Everybody wants to know what's our secret, how we flow. We're dreamers. Let's talk.
Welcome to our new. Dang it. Kita, what's up, girl? How you been? What's going on with you?
I've been good. Had a good week, a few weeks actually. My niece was in town from New Orleans and was visiting us, and we've just been having a ball with her. She's a lot of fun, Mia.
Yeah,
And we do our family Wednesdays, of course. So we doing that, and just laughing and loving on each other, and just uh, just creating memories. Just
it's
making
so
memories.
beautiful to
As a
have,
family.
to have
Yeah,
a good
so it's
quality
been great.
family time.
And I've been feeling better. As you know, I had some back issues. That lasted like 5 weeks. So I had to, couldn't exercise like I wanted to, or walk for that matter, do my walking. But now I'm back. I'm back at it slowly but surely. I'm not doing 2 mile walk, a 2 mile walk, but I am walking.
Good. You look gorgeous, girl. You're looking good. Looking good, girly.
But
Yes. Yeah.
just, so just having a good time and just trying to live my best life as best I can. You
Beautiful.
know.
Well, it was fun
Yeah.
finally visiting you. Um,
Yes.
and hanging out with you for a few days. That was so fun and
Yeah.
doing our private show, our Live Fit for
Yeah.
Thou show for Terry. That was so much fun and
Yeah. That was good.
yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So
Uh
what you been doing, girly?
my goodness, these twins are home, girl. The Obies, Obi ones are home from
Right.
college.
Yeah.
Okay, so they had a really wonderful first freshman year of college.
Okay.
They had a great track season. You know, they're learning a lot from their new coaches
Mm-hmm.
and growing in that area. And they did well academically, and they've been home, and they are home. Okay, I'm like, oh yeah, they home.
Is it like they never left? Like they never left home?
Yeah, yeah. It's nice. It's really nice to have them home, but you know, um, we I forget that they've experienced college for a year, so they're not the little Obies anymore, you know. So
Right.
I have
Right.
to like, oh, it's like,
Young
oh, okay,
adults.
mom, I'm going
Young
here and I'm going there. It's no longer, um, can I go here or can I do this? It's no more of that. Those days are gone.
They gone, girl. They
They
gone.
go. But it's so nice. I've really been enjoying their company and just being able to do a few family things together so far this summer. And one of those things is was it last weekend? We had they had a track meet and it was a qualifying meet for them to advance to the Junior Olympics. So they both advanced
Mm-hmm.
and so this would be their last year to qualify for the Junior Olympics. So we're very proud of the OBs. Go
All right.
OBs. Okay. And it's been fun, you know. I also was able to around the time we got together visit my mom in Little Rock. So she
Right. Yeah.
turned 80 and we celebrated her birthday with her. My brother flew in from
Yeah.
Reno, he and his family,
Okay. Yeah.
and I was able to go and we just had a really good time. It was really fun and we just loved on her so much and I think she had a good time. It was,
Yeah. I'm
very
sure.
memorable.
And her babies around her.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So that was fun and I plan on getting back and meeting my daughter there, Sakai.
Mm-hmm.
Meeting her there soon. So that's what I've been up to and trying to get some sun, trying to get
Mm-hmm.
my run on. I started exercising regularly again back in I think it was March and
Mm-hmm.
went to Arkansas and got off schedule a little bit, but I've been
Yeah.
back at that. My
Yeah.
body, it's like once you get going with your exercising and all those things, your body loves that stuff, right?
Right. Right.
So when you, oh, excuse
True.
me, when you get away from it for a bit, it becomes like, okay, it's time to go. I got to get some sunshine and I got to get a run on. So I've been doing that. And
Okay.
yeah, okay, so and that's what the Smiths have been up to over
Mhm.
on this side.
I know one thing.
What's that?
I'm excited about our single, doing so
Oh
well.
gosh,
Yeah, yes.
absolutely. Our
Yes,
single is
yes,
amazing, right?
yes. Yes, I will always be. Let people know, like where they
Absolutely.
can
So,
listen to
yeah,
it,
I
how
don't
they
know
can.
if y'all know because we've been promoting our butts off, right? We've been
Yes, we have.
promoting on all of our social media pages and on Spotify. It's reached, oh gosh, I know it's over 50,000 um
Mhm.
plays
Yeah,
now at this point. So we're really excited. We've been getting a lot of great feedback. Y'all have been commenting on the song when we post it, little snippets of it, and it is the summer jam. What can we say?
yeah,
If you
yeah.
haven't heard it, y'all need to go and hear it on Spotify, okay? Or any of the music platforms that you use and put us on your
Mm-hmm.
playlist. It is the
Mm-hmm.
jam, it's the summer jam. And it also, we're proud to announce our video, which it goes along with it. It's our full video of the song.
Right.
I Will Always Be is the name of the song. And girl, we've been busy. We've been doing a few things, I must say. You know,
We
we're
have. Yes, we
we
have.
have been keeping busy, so that's been really, really wonderful. If you go to our La Femme Fatale page or our La Femme
Mm-hmm.
Fatale website, which is LESF, right there. See that right there?
Yes.
LESFEMMESFATALES.net. You will find all things La Femme Fatale for Nikita and Sakai. And then you just, click the links and join us there. Join us on our YouTube channel, please. Get us up. Get us up. It will be so helpful. So we're trying to reach at least a thousand followers on our on YouTube channels. Get like, save,
We're
share.
checking it out.
What is it? And comment. Right?
Yes, please do. We
So we
appreciate
love
that.
that. And then also join us on our other social media platforms as well. And like I said, you can find all things La Femme Fatale on that website. And girl, this has been exciting. This has been a long time coming, Kita, right?
Yes, it has. Yes, it has.
This has
Yes,
been
it has.
so we're finally we jumped in and took the leap of faith and said we're gonna really make this happen this year. So I'm glad we finally said yes, let's talk
Mhm.
is going to come to life, and we've done
Yes.
that. So
And
this
we
is
have
our
a
first
wonderful guest.
episode.
We have a wonderful guest for our first guest. Wonderful guest. I'm excited, to bring that person on. Are we ready to bring him
I
on?
think so. Yes.
Okay. Okay, you guys, now check this out. Our guest today, career in the entertainment industry spans over 45 years. Um, he's an international known musical director and producer extraordinaire of the Grammys and the Tech. He's also a singer and a prolific songwriter. Now, it doesn't stop there. Um, he's also a Bay Area icon,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
an author. You hear me? An author of the bestseller, The Art and Business of Songwriting. We're happy to have him with us. Let's welcome our friend, our brother, Mr. Larry Batiste.
Woohoo. Yes. Hey, hey, Brother Lair.
Hey,
How are you?
family. I'm good. I'm so
Wonderful,
good.
wonderful.
I'm so happy to be here. I love you guys so
We
much.
We
love
love
you
you too.
too. And it's
We love
so
you too.
such a joy to be able to do this on a beautiful Sunday.
Yes.
And you being our first guest is such an honor. So thank you so much.
You're so welcome. I've known each of you, I think, 30 years each. So, we got 30, 30, 30. We got 90 years.
Ooh, come on.
So good.
Oh my God, how can that be?
Oh,
You don't look a day over 30 yourself, bro.
Okay.
Oh
got
my
the skin
gosh.
glowing, looking all nice and things.
I know, I know. You looking good. And it was so nice hanging out with you and Lynn the other day. It was so fun. Thank you. Kevin, I always love hanging out with you guys. It was such a beautiful night, as always.
Yeah, our friend R&B, fierce R&B singer Kevin Ross was in town, and
Oh,
we had a chance to go check him out at Yoshi's in Oakland.
Yeah,
I saw your post. I saw
That's awesome.
yeah.
that's what I miss about being in the Bay Area.
Yes,
So going
yeah.
yep,
I
places like
know.
that.
We
You
miss
know?
you. But
Yeah.
it is that's the one thing that we all do have in common, right? We
Mm-hmm.
all are from the Bay. We all from Oakland, and we're
Yeah.
gonna get this. We're gonna let's talk with Larry Batiste. We're gonna get this going. And Larry Batiste, we want to know what it was like growing up in Oakland, and what inspired you musically. Who were your music influences, and how did you get into the music business? Where did it all begin?
Wow, that's a lot. But I think growing up in Oakland was great. We are so rich with talent. I grew up at a time where you would walk down the street and there was music playing and somebody was in their garage
Mm-hmm.
practicing, just
Right.
music all over Oakland. So I think that's what really inspired me, life and the culture, being so rich and, people. My friends, I'm inspired by people I grew up with and people a little older than me that were just like prolific. I'm going, oh my God,
Yeah.
maybe I could do that,
Right. Right.
and I had great mentors,
Yeah.
and I think that kind of really shaped who I was. I was just blessed to have a great mentor in music, and a professor named Bill Bell, who taught so many great people in the Bay Area. And then vocally, I went to Castlemont High School, so there was the Castleers and Phil Reeder, and then in business, Clay Tobin and I. Clay Tobin is my music partner,
Mm-hmm.
growing up. And so when we were in the 12th grade, in 12th grade, you're trying to figure out what am I going to do, I'm going
Right.
to college, what am I going to do? So big question. So we know we wanted to make some money. So we did a little research and figure out who who is making money in the music business, because most people we know that were really talented and stuff, a lot of them were like starving musicians. So we go, okay, we want to be in the music, but we don't want to be that. And so who's making money in the music business? Well, it's the producers, it's the songwriters, it's the publishers, and so forth. So we go, okay, we want to be one of them. So in the 12th grade, we started a publishing company.
Wow.
And we said, well, we don't know nothing, so we better go talk to somebody.
Right.
So there was this attorney named Jeffrey Gravard. He's had an office in Ghirardelli Square, and
Mm-hmm.
he represented all the great big groups that were out at the time. That was Santana, Fleetwood Mac, and Janis Joplin, and
Mm-hmm.
Journey, and people like that. Well, he was the attorney that represented all of them. So I said, let's go talk to them. And so let's go talk to him rather. And so, I made the phone call and I put on my man voice, my husky voice,
Right.
oh, do I still sound like this? So but I put on my husky voice and told him I was Mr. Batiste and I'd like to set up an appointment to, talk about some business.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm. Right.
anyway, he took our calls and stuff and made the appointment with us, and we put on our suits and we had our briefcases. The briefcases were in. But we had
Young
our
men, huh?
briefcases. And so when we walked in his office, he looked up and go, "You're Mr. Batiste?" And I was like, "Yes, sir, I am." So anyway, he chuckled, and then he told his secretary to hold all his calls for that day.
Mm.
And and he says, he gave us the whole day.
Wow.
So he talked to
Wow.
us about contracts, and then he took us to lunch, and then we came back, and he finished the conversation. So I think that was our business mentor. So that for me, that kind of showed me what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to pay it forward, and he recognized that. He
Yeah.
said, okay, I could tell you guys are serious. You really gonna go you really going places,
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. So he just gave us the time of day, mentored us that way in business. At the end of the day, it's like, hey, whenever you have something, just run it by me or whatever. And so, of course, we had saved up $125, which is
Okay.
a lot of money
Live. Right.
for us at that time.
Right.
I'm making, cash in Coke bottles and the whole thing. So we saved up $125. I said, well, sir, how much do we owe you? And he said, no, no, that's okay. I said, no, no, because the 125 is burning my pocket. Something like, okay, we prepared to pay you. And so he says, are you sure? Yeah. So he says, okay, let's see, $375 and $7. So we were like, you know, on second thought, we'll take you up on your offer, you know,
Right.
type of things. But anyway, it was just great. And so he was our business mentor, and that really saved us a lot of headache and heartache, through the years. So we appreciate that so much. So I think, in terms of influence, it was, business people like him. It was Mr. Bell who taught us music, that kind of Phil Reader, who in the 12th grade, we went to Europe. And, what they did for us was a bunch of, 12th graders from Oakland, uh, showing us that this is possible. This is what, and I still tell people when I do workshops and stuff, music is your ticket to the world.
Yes.
And
I
showed
love
us what
that.
that was. Same thing instrumentally with Bill Bell. He says, okay, I was a trombone player and Clay Tucker was a horn player. And he
Yeah.
would say to us, you have a suit? I said, yeah, okay. I want you to show up at such and such time, such and such place. Bring your horns and stuff and be ready to play. And so we did that. First time we showed up, it was Eartha Kitt.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And then the
Amazing.
second time we showed up, it was Billy Eckstine.
Wow.
And so, we realized much later that this man, this professional musician, took a huge chance on some teenagers.
Yeah.
So we were going to show up and be responsible. And so what he was saying to us was, if you do this career could be possible for you.
Yeah.
This if you just do what you say you're going to do, be
Mm-hmm.
on time, be professional, and all that.
Yeah.
So I mean, what a chance he took on us.
Wow.
And so
Yeah.
a lot of the work I do has to do with mentoring and
Mm-hmm.
paying it forward. And I think that is because of these people who showed us and there for us.
Right.
So anyway, so those are
Amazing.
my inspirations, my influences, and
Yes.
that's pretty much what I do now. Besides,
Right.
work, and I try to mentor as much as I can.
Okay. That's a that's a story, Larry. Now tell me this. With all that being said, moving forward, what was the first band you actually played in? Um, non-professionally, professionally, and what role did you play? In that band.
Yeah, well, I was in a band called Reading, Write, and Arithmetic.
Really?
Read, Write, and Riff, and RIFF, and
Oh, riff.
Riff.
Oh,
That's
that's
clever.
And,
okay. I like that.
and so
Yeah.
it was a funky ass band. It was
Riff.
great. And that was kind of pretty much in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And then I joined a group called the VJs,
Yeah.
and a bunch of great musicians.
Mm-hmm.
Oakland is rich with talent, and so those were the first bands I played in.
Mm-hmm.
Besides, and then the recording career started. Well, there was a guy named Richard Dimples Fields,
Oh, I
and
remember that name.
and when I was in high school, he used to pick me up and take me into the studio and record with him.
Oh, wow.
Think in terms of being on the charts and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
it was Bill Summers and Summers Heat.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think we had the first top 10 record with that, and I say we. Clay Tobin, myself, and Bill Summers, we were the collaborators and co-producers.
Oh, wow.
Writers of those songs, and that relationship came about through Bill Bell.
Okay.
When Bill Summers decided to have a solo career. Now, Bill Summers is a master percussionist,
Yeah.
and he's the one who scored all the percussion work on Roots, the miniseries
Yeah.
Quincy Jones.
Wow.
And so once that was a huge success, he then joined the Herbie Hancock band, and they had a huge success, and he invented that sound, doo-doo, bee-boo, that sound.
Yeah.
That's Bill Summers, and so they had the, uh, Chameleon and all this big, huge success. And then he decided that he would go out on his own and have a recording career.
Mm-hmm.
He knew Bill Bell, and he says, I need to really collaborate with some young cats, and do some records. And so he recommended myself and Clay Tobin.
Oh,
Wow.
We got together with Bill Summers, and the rest is, as you say, history. You know,
Yeah.
we
Right.
got together, we co-wrote all the songs and co-produced the records,
Yeah.
and we ended up with a top 10 hit, Call It What You Want.
Yeah.
And we had some songs after that too, but that's kind of got things rolling with that. And with Call It What You Want, you know, we were first was signed to Fantasy, and so we walked the halls of Fantasy, and so many people were there. And one of the groups was the Blackbirds, and one of the co-founders of that group was a guy named Kevin Tony, who
Mhm.
recently passed. But Kevin Tony and myself and Bill Summers, we co-wrote "You Could Call It What You Want."
Right.
So that was kind of like kicked everything off. And so anyway, we've been sampled and all this stuff. So
Yeah.
beginning of it
How
all.
exciting. It's so
Very
interesting because it really shows how you made opportunities for yourself. You became
Mhm.
great at what you did very young, right? And then Mr. Bell was able then to feel so confident in recommending you to other artists. So you really, that really sets a precedent for all, I think future musicians and singers, or, you have to really focus on getting your craft down so people can, because a lot of, so people can recommend you, because a lot of that, and Nikita and I can probably say something on this too. It has a lot to do with the relationships that you build and your work
Yes.
ethic, and
Yeah.
how you carry yourself. All those things are so important. So that really says a lot about you and Clay being so young.
You know, your network is your net worth,
Love
right?
that.
Yes.
I
Yes.
So
love,
I
love, love
would
that.
say, yeah, a lot of it is like communication skills and all those things. You know, when you talk about directing all these shows and all this stuff, well, you know, the music part is assumed that you have talent.
Mm-hmm.
But 80% of it is logistics and the communication, getting back to people and all the
Mhm.
things, doing all the things that your mama taught you to
Right.
do.
Right. Right.
Yes.
You know, be respectful and all that stuff.
It's so
And make people feel good and okay, and a sense of belonging. You know, there was another guy on Keep News. He was a jazz producer, and Thelonious Monk and Sonny Rollins, and
Mhm.
all these type of just classic jazz people. He produced them, and he was an older guy in the Fantasy Building, but he really had a lot of respect for us too. And I remember,
Yeah.
I was a fan of reading credits. You know, when they used to
Right.
have physical records.
Right. Right.
So I was a big fan of reading people's credits, and I knew everybody that was on the records and stuff like that. And I remember one day in my trombone playing days, he invited me to a session to be part of the session.
Mhm.
And I walk in the room, and all those people that I had read on the records
Yeah.
in the room, they were
Oh.
my idols. So quite naturally, he I was nervous. I think he could sense that. He looked in my eyes. It looked like I just seen a ghost. You
little deer in headlights,
know?
huh?
He was a seasoned producer, and the producer's gig is, of course, to shape the music, but also to bring out the best
Yes.
in, in the talent that you hire. And he brought me in the room with all these greats, and he said, "Hey, you guys know Larry Batiste, don't you?" And all these guys were like from LA, and it was like he made them feel like they need to know me.
Right.
Love
So,
that.
but surely you know Larry Batiste. And so, and they said, "Oh my God, no, we don't. We're so sorry." They were polite and all that, but it kind of like broke the ice
Mm-hmm.
and just set me up to just
Yeah.
my comfort level was
Right.
just right there, and it freed me up to just do what I was hired to do,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
and I just fit right in, and everything was good. So that was a mentoring moment. That was a light bulb moment. That showed me that, okay, this is what I need to do when I hire people. To really put them in their comfort zone
Yeah.
immediately and
Yeah.
get your job done. Bring out the best
Yeah. Right.
who you're working with.
Yes.
So
Well, we know that you wear many hats, brother. We know this. And your resume is vast. But can you tell us, how did you get involved with the songwriting end and the producing end for other artists?
or for other artists.
Mm-hmm.
Well, touring around with Bill Summers, um, just it was just mass. You should start to meet people, and you realize that you have to diversify. And I like to meet people, and I just started writing for other people.
Mm-hmm.
When we weren't working, I'm going, okay, I have a song for Natalie Cole. I have a song for this person or that person, and I began to do that. The songwriting for me came about in a very interesting way. When I was a kid, I had a uncle that played saxophone, and he played with Count Basie and Duke Ellington and those kind of people. But unfortunately, when I was about 7 years old, he passed away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The last few years of his life, he was an alcoholic, and had some issues and stuff, and so my aunt, his wife, he thought, oh my God, it's music. Music brings on all this kind of stuff, this kind of life and all this. And so basically, she wanted to get rid of all his instruments when he passed away. Let's
Mhm.
get this out the house. And
Yeah.
so somebody got the saxophone, but I remember we got the piano.
Yeah.
And so this piano, no one in my family was really interested in music, playing. They loved music, but they weren't musicians. And so this piano sat in our garage for a while, and before long, it became like a clothes rack, and
Right.
you know, all
Right.
that kind of stuff. And so when I was a kid, I would retreat to this garage where this piano was, take everything off of it, and I sat down one day at the piano and started playing a note, and I realized, oh wow, this note sounds good with this note. And before you know it, I go, "Ooh, if I play this other note, it sounds good, but then I had a chord. I didn't know it was called a chord at that time.
Right.
So I played this chord, and I moved to this chord, and then, like, oh wow, this is good. And so when I was a kid, and things would happen to me, I would retreat to the garage, where there was this piano that nobody was interested in, and I could write a song, a little song, and document my situation.
Oh.
After I documented my situation, I was free to go back out in the world. I think I probably was about 10 years old, or something
Wow.
like that, when I started this. And of course, my song sucked. They weren't good songs. I didn't say they were good songs, but they were my songs.
They were your
And
songs.
there was a way for me to get that out. So that's how the whole songwriting
Mm.
thing started. And as I, got older, I realized, okay, I started listening to more songs,
Yeah.
and realized how they told a story. And the reason why I like this song, because it's a cool hook. It makes you want to come back. So I
Yeah.
Yes.
took myself on that thing. So anyway, I started writing songs, and the rest is history. I went, joined the band. I started writing for other people and that kind of stuff.
Okay. Well, moving fast, fast forward, writing, um, and you start working with other artists. Now, who are some of the artists that you have produced and recorded with
Ooh,
in your career?
yeah, it's a long list, because I've worked with a lot of people through my musical directing, but then I also uh, co-wrote and produced some artists, and I hate to name drop, but I did.
Yeah, we don't mind. We don't mind.
A lot of people, Charlie
Give us
Wilson,
That,
um,
what?
Charlie Wilson.
Come on.
Houston,
Mm-hmm.
um, Santana. I mentioned Natalie Cole,
Yes.
Young Jeezy, uh, Keisha Cole. I mean,
Oh,
a lot of my stuff have been samples,
mm-hmm.
Vanilla Ice, people like that, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
been on stage with a lot of people.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. And because you're a producer and you uh, sing as well, which one would you say you like doing best? Producing or singing, performing?
I think I like producing best. I like
Mm-hmm.
writing. I like
Mm-hmm.
in the studio. I don't want to be the person in front. I much rather work behind the scenes, and
Mm-hmm.
so all that weight isn't on you. Like my mom used to say, put all your eggs in one basket. No, I don't
Yeah.
want that.
Right.
I just like to work with a lot of folks, and I
Mm-hmm.
like producing the best. I just like seeing this little idea maybe like you use the garage example, how, I write this little song in my garage, it's just me, and then go in the studio and go, oh wow, and start building and developing the song and see how that is. And when I had a chance to be out on the road with Bill Summer's Heat, like that call it what you want example, being in some stadium, it's some other state in Virginia or where, and see like, wow, 15,000 people singing the words to this thing that you
That
wrote in your garage.
yes,
How cool is that? And you learn
that's powerful.
how powerful music is, how it could reach
Mhm.
all these people, how songs could change lives, how like,
Yeah.
music was not only my medicine, but maybe
Mhm.
it's some thought that someone is helping someone else.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like that's the power of music.
It
It's
truly is. It
Very
truly
healing.
is.
Very
Truly,
healing.
truly. That
healing.
universal language, the
Yeah.
cliches,
You
Yeah.
could
as we
always
say.
take all the situations of a song that was out at the time when a situation occurred,
Hmm.
you
Mhm.
know, and
Yeah.
this is awesome.
Well, we know that you've done a lot of producing and songwriting and all those things, but you have also done commercials. You've done some jingles and some movie soundtracks. And let's talk about that. What are some of your favorites that you've done?
Um, wow. I think, you've seen my bio. I've been a part of Hunchback of Notre Dame and
Mm-hmm.
Stuart Little and things like that. But I think probably my favorite is the movie Rent.
Mm.
Okay.
And because I had a chance to contract that, and
Yes.
contractor is the first who hires everyone,
Mm.
stuff like that. I got a chance to contract the vocals on that, and so hire some of my friends, and that whole process of pulling that all together and then seeing it on film and that
Mm-hmm.
thing. Thing about that is was a bittersweet project because we didn't get any credit on that.
Yeah.
All taken through the union, and we still get our little pennies, our
Yeah.
Right.
and stuff from it, and that's all great. But most importantly, is your credit.
Yes.
So,
Absolutely.
for a long time, I didn't use that credit.
Yeah.
People look on the album, they go, "Uh, really?"
Yeah.
That kind of thing. But that was really rewarding uh, because seeing it all come together and being a part of such a big production like that, it was great. And like I said, it was bittersweet because you get to the premiere and the movie's great and all that. It's a music song. My voice is all the way through it along with all the other singers and stuff. And then you waiting for the credits to roll, right? So, you
Right.
know,
Right.
credits are rolling, and I see the guy who brought the sandwiches. I see the guy who drove the truck, and I see the I said, okay, that's great. Now I'm waiting for my name, and it never comes up.
Yeah, that's a bummer, majorly.
Yeah,
For real.
bummer. So and so you check with everybody there. All the paperwork was great and stuff, but somebody made a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll get you on when we reprint it or whatever. Of course, it never got reprinted. So anyway, but that's to answer the question. That's probably one of my
What
favorites.
about that famous
Since
jingle? What about
yeah.
that commercial that we all grew to
Yeah.
loved?
Um. Well, people
And you
always
played a raisin, and then
did the
you,
comparison.
yes,
Everybody, that's the
that was nice.
I remember that one so well.
Yeah,
yeah,
that was a great commercial.
yeah, that was fun. That
Yeah.
was really, I did that with a lot of people around here. Yeah,
Mhm.
we have some of the greatest singers. You
Mhm.
know, and we have you guys, of course, and we have the Claytovens, the Jeannie Tracy's, and the Skylar Jets, and the
Oh my
Tony Bennett's,
gosh.
and all the people that we did sessions with over the
Oh my
years.
Yeah.
gosh.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So wonderful.
Yeah.
Mhm. Now you have. Now, you can tell me who you've worked with that have earned you a Grammy nomination. You know, who are those?
Oh, that would be people like the jazz band.
Yeah.
The
Wow.
jazz band, that was an amazing project. Um, Charlie Wilson.
Oh, tell us about that.
That's there's a guy named Roberto Francesco. He's a
Mhm.
Latin artist who I did some stuff with him. people like that, Charlie Wilson was amazing because I worked with him doing the Grammy pre-telecast,
Mm-hmm.
and that was so much fun. And I wanted to see a full show of his. I came home from that, and 2 weeks later, I heard that he was going to be in our town at the Stone Soul concert headlining.
Right. Right.
Oh, I'm gonna go. So I looked, and that thing was like 200. And I said, I'm thinking about you. Anyway, he showed up to the show, and he says, "Well, come backstage because I got something to talk to you about." So it was that song. It's called "You Are." And he said, "Well, we need some horn arrangements and string arrangements and all this kind of stuff." And so, sometimes people are just being nice and they just try to, and don't really happen. And
Yeah.
so I said, of course, I said, sure. 2 days later, he sent me the idea for the track. And,
Right.
another week later, Clay Tobin and I got together and we arranged the horns and strings. And another week, we're in the studio doing
Right.
it. And as it turns out, Charlie was so busy on the road. They said, "Well, can you guys produce the sessions? Because he's touring and that kind of thing." So it was just worked out really great. So we ended up being
Right.
co-producers
Wow.
and that kind of stuff.
That's
And
awesome.
2 weeks after that, it comes out and it could be as number one on the Billboard charts for 16 weeks
Wow.
and nominated for Grammy. So I think that's probably the most magical,
Right.
fastest thing that came
Mm-hmm.
out. And on top of that, when they got ready to shoot the video, the record label had shot one video but he wanted this to be like a wedding song, that kind of thing. And so he reshot the whole video and says, "Well, we're going to be in Milpitas. And Milpitas, that's your area. Will you be in the video and play the father of the bride?"
Look at you.
Wow.
Your accent.
Okay.
It's like it's like giving keeps on giving. I'm going like, what?
Right.
Every time this man calls, I'm going, what? Of course,
Right.
And so that happened. It was just magical. So I think that's one of those magical type of
Yeah.
things that happen.
Wow. That's cool. Now you can put actor underneath your hat. It's one of the things, many things
Yeah.
that you do.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
And we know that you're known internationally, but you will always be an Oaktown
This is my
boy. I
family.
won't say boy, but we know that we're all from Oaktown, so that's going to be a priority, right? And Larry, you have done so much for the community. Tell us what it was like working with the Oakland Symphony, and tell us about that.
Oh, that was another great experience. Mike Morgan and he was the conductor that passed a few years ago, but I knew them, and they had gotten this grant, and this grant was for composers that don't normally write classical music, and they wanted me to be an advisor for this program and basically suggest people, composers that don't normally do classical music, that could to write a symphony for them,
Mm-hmm.
for their concert series. So the first year, I suggested Patrice Rushen,
Mm.
and that worked out just, she was fabulous and did
Yeah.
that. Year two came around, and I thought of Narda Michael Walton,
Mm-hmm.
and he's our treasurer from
Yeah.
around Carlos Santana.
Yeah.
And they got together and composed a great piece, and that was wonderful.
That was at the Paramount,
That's
right?
at the Paramount Theater.
Yeah, I sang on that.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
okay.
I
All
performed it.
right.
Yeah, I
Yes.
did.
Yes. And so then the third year rolled around, and I was ready for them this year because I had a little list of people I could suggest, you know. And, um, and so they called me, and I started running down my list, and they go, "Oh, no, no, we want you to be the composer."
All right.
Wow.
So that was really awesome. So I called, Clay Tobin, my music partner. You know,
Yeah.
we've been together since the 12th grade, starting
Wow.
all this
Yeah,
stuff.
that is incredible.
So I called him and so, hey, look, we have this opportunity, and we both jumped on it. And he had a song that he had worked on previously, and I had a song that I worked on previously, and so we ended up doing two compositions for the Oakland Symphony, and it was arranged for full orchestra and 120 voices.
Wow.
Usually, you do you put together songs and stuff, and you're very limited. You know, you have like
Mhm.
four people because of expenses, whatever. So you have like a rhythm section and maybe some singers and maybe some horns and stuff. Now I'm sitting up here trying to do the symphony, trying to think about what the piccolo is going to play.
That's incredible.
Oh, you know, I'm the cellos and stuff like that. So
Right.
it's great. You know, what an experience that was, you know, to be able to write for all these instruments and pull them
Wow.
all together, you know, because, you know, music is just a conversation between instruments, you
Yeah.
know, and seeing, you know, we could, you know, but we can't talk all at the same time. You know, we could all
Yeah.
talk, but not at the same time. So
Same time.
who's going to be featured and who's going to be the accompanying them and
Mhm.
who's the counter melodies and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
That
So
was just
intricate.
yeah. I went on lockdown for about 3 weeks and just you know came up with this stuff and Clay Tobin did too, and
Mhm.
so it was just magical being able to hear all these things that's been in your head, you know,
Right.
and to hear an orchestra play it and
Mhm.
then hear the singers and not only just a singer but 120.
Mhm.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
was just what an experience that was for us.
Sure. There, your musical journey has been just fabulous, wonderful, and just hearing about it is so inspiring. You know, you're so motivating, and that's one of the things I love about you. And I would love for you to share with us, you know, your involvement in foundations that I know that you're a part of. And can you share that with us and tell us more about that and what motivated you to be a part of this foundation?
You mean some of the organizations that I volunteer?
Yeah.
It's
Yes. Yes.
yeah. Well, you know, of course, everyone knows about most people know about the Recording Academy. I've been around them
Yeah.
for years, 40
Mhm.
plus years. You know, and I've you know locally I've been you know president of the local chapter for. I'm still sit on the board. They do the other 300 cares. You
Yeah.
know,
Mhm.
which you know helps people and musicians and artists in need, you know, and then I was involved in Music in Schools Today, which advocates for after school programs and things like that, you know, because of my mentors,
Mhm.
like, so I'm involved with organizations like that, teaching artists and, you know, having events and conferences for them, having events where music supervisors are coming out and listening to songs and,
Right.
you know, have a pathway for them, you know, and then, you know, since I'm old, you know, I a lot about the archival and preservation of traditional forms of music. I'm a
Mhm.
part of the Arhuli Foundation, and that's what they do. You know, they deal with all music that's not electronic. So
Yeah.
it's spirituals, you
Mm.
know, it's soul music, it's
Yeah.
blues, you know,
Yeah.
it's the authentic Mexican music and
Yeah.
accordions and all this kind of stuff, you know, just preserving that music and paying homage to our ancestors and people that came before us. So we're involved with them. And through that organization, I'm soon to be working on either it's going to be a documentary or a podcast about the history of Black music in Oakland. So I'm trying to put that together with me being the host, and
Mhm.
hopefully that'll be coming in 2026 or something like that.
Oh,
Wow,
okay.
that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
So, so beautiful.
It,
And that's
that's
one of the things that I'm sorry. You gonna say something, Nick? I was gonna say that that's one of the things we really love about you. You bring so much love and light to all of the work that you put out in the world, to all the projects that I've been on with you. There's always just so much love poured into those projects, and it's such a joy. I don't think I've ever heard you complain. And that joy that you bring all this younger generation coming, that about you, you are just a ray of you've talked about today. It shows in your body of work, and so
yeah.
that's such a blessing. And
Yeah.
we would be remiss if
I was gonna say before we move on to that,
yes.
I'm just blown away given everything we've three beautiful young women, your daughters, and how do you balance your music career and your home life? You know,
Well,
real quickly, real quickly,
it
real
ain't
quickly.
easy. And we talked to, I'm telling you, I realize one thing I've really been blessed with is learning from older people, other people, and kind of learn from where they've gone wrong, whatever, and you do have to have a balance. I look at like my schedule and I go, okay, kids were very young, is trying to put them in that kind of thing, and try to not let anything come between that.
Yeah.
So, I put something, just kind of look, just being a good organizer and good, try to put that time, and sometimes it gets a little off,
Yeah.
but you try to jump back on things,
Yeah.
you
It's true.
know.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I guess we'll
And like Sakai, you said something about not complaining. I remember
yes.
like one of my dear friends and little sisters, Legacy, when she has a busy schedule too, and she says, this is what I prayed for.
Mm,
Why am I gonna complain about this?
Right.
yeah.
Exactly.
This is what I asked for. Now I get it. You know, why am I gonna
That
complain
is
about something?
so true. That's a valid point because it's a blessing.
Yeah.
And you definitely have shown up and like I said earlier, in all the blessings that you have been given, you do pour into the world with all of those.
Mhm.
Let me
Um,
say, one of the blessings I have is like working with you guys.
oh, thank you.
You
Thank
talk
you.
about inspired. I'm inspired by my friends. And you guys talk about me being busy. The most amazing folks. I never seen somebody juggle so many balls. I think we could all sign up for Barnabas.
Yeah, yeah. It's so interesting because we know that it takes a team
Yeah.
to make things happen and to bring things to life and all those things. So we're so blessed to have you as a part of our team. It's such a joy and a blessing.
True.
But Kita asked you about the family, so we'll then end it up on this question, and we'll talk about your book. As I was gonna say, you're an author and a best-selling author at that. And we're so happy to talk about your new book, which is called The Art and Business of Songwriting. And I got a little sneak peek, I've been reading a little some. And the thing that's really inspiring for me is that not only is it comprehensive, it inspires the readers with practical application. And so it's really hands-on, and I really love that. And I think, it could be a little intimidating when you look at the art and business of songwriting, but you break it down and you give the reader the opportunity to really delve in and give them a very easy way of moving into it, into songwriting. You lay it out, and it also, the thing that I really loved is the way that you brought I could just hear you, I hear your voice, and you brought a lot of life, like living into this book as well. Practical, is this something that you really want to do? What type of personality do you have? Are you up for this challenge? And I just love that so much. It was amazing. So I'm going to let you talk about it and ask you what inspired the book, and let's talk about that.
Well, that's the one thing I did. If I was going to write a book, I did want it to be in my voice, because when the book kind of found me, right? It's like I used to write with this guy, and I hope to do some more writing with him, named John Bendick, a dear
Mm,
friend.
yes.
And we had so much fun writing together. One day he says, "You should write a book." I'm going like, why should I write a book? Who wants to read my book? There's so many books out there already on songwriting, and songwriting is not rocket science. It's like it's already been written. You could just read any of these books, pick it up, and go do that. And he goes on and on about I should write this book, and so he says, "Well, I tell you what, you should teach." And he was a professor and still is this type of stuff. So he went on. So he goes on. So I just say, "Yeah, I will. I'll teach. Just not hear you interested in teaching." I'm going. I am because I but she goes on to say, well, John Bington called me, and this I'm going now just to save face, with him. I said, yeah, I am interested in teaching. She says, this is okay. Why don't you come in and talk to me about teaching? So now I'm nervous, right? Because I didn't have no resume and all this kind of stuff. So
Right.
got with my wife. I'm nervous, so she helped me remember all the stuff I did and all this kind of stuff. So we got together and we wrote a resume. And 2 weeks later, I went on in and put my resume on her desk. And she go, "What's this?" I'm going, "Well, this is my resume." And she said, "Oh, I don't need this. I already Googled you. So just,"
I love it. I love
she
it.
said, "Just tell me what you want to teach and when you want to start." So I said,
Wow.
okay. Well, off the top of my head, and God just gave me this, I said, the art and business of songwriting.
Wow.
She said, that sounds really good. So she said, but just write a curriculum and tell me when you want to start. And so I said, well, I do all these other things. I can only teach one night a week. She said, that'll be fine. So just tell me when you want to start, write a curriculum. So that's what I did. So like maybe 5 or 6 months into teaching this class, I get a call from Oxford University Press saying, "Hey, look, we don't have this title in our catalog. Would you mind writing a sample chapter, and then we'll see where it goes from there?" So I wrote the sample chapter, and the rest is, as they say, history. They liked it. They signed me to a book deal, and so that's how the book came about. But I still was intent on writing it in my voice and writing it so that the music enthusiasts could get it, as well as somebody who's been in music for a while, but not, there's not a heavy theory book, nothing like that. But it's just something, so, telling you how to protect your rights and all this kind of stuff, and kind of your philosophy and my philosophy, and
Right.
you should prepare for. So as I started to prepare for writing the book, I realized that I don't know everything. So like, I should really interview some other people, get some other thoughts
Right.
about their process and stuff. So I have 14 interviews in the book, and there's everybody from, there's a guy named Peter Asher was Paul McCartney's roommate, and he ended up, signing the Beatles to their first contract. And then he also discovered Linda Ronstadt and James Taylor. And I have him, I interview Lamont Dozier, who wrote
Yeah.
all Motown hits and stuff with the
Yeah.
Supremes, people like
Yeah.
that. And look, our very own treasure, Narda Michael Walton. I interviewed him and a few other people. And then I interviewed some independent artists, people who've had success without the help of a major record label. And so
Yeah.
I interviewed Fantastic Negretto, our beloved Kev Choice, and people like that who
Yeah.
are very successful in their own right and without the help of a major label. And so I think it's kind of well-rounded, but this definitely is my voice, and I'm really glad that it was embraced by, I don't have a publicist and all this kind of stuff. We put out the book, and within the first week, it was #1 on Amazon. So that's so
Yes.
anyway.
Awesome.
Wow.
Wow, Larry, that is so awesome. I want to. We both would like to just thank you for joining us today. Your story, your journey is amazing, and inspiring, and we thank you for being a part of our life. And I have to say, Larry's on our team.
Absolutely. All day, all night, every day.
Yes.
Absolutely. Just a joy.
So we thank you for being with us again on Let's Talk. I'm Nikita, and
And I'm Sakai, and this has been such a joy.
On your podcast, you guys.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. We hope to have you again, when you do your next book.
Don't wait that long. This one took 17.
Whatever
Please.
you made the hit you produced, and yeah, I'm sure you got a lot more coming.
Yeah.
To share with the world.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Let's Talk, and I guess we'll say bye for now. Peace.
Let's talk. Everybody wants to know what's our secret, how we flow. We're dreamers. Let's talk.
Welcome to our new, dang it.